Thank you all for attending the Charlotte men's basketball postgame press conference. The final score was Charlotte 79, UTSA 70. And of course, Coach Aaron Fern gets his first win as the official head coach of Charlotte men's basketball. Coach, would you like to open up with any comments?
Oh, just like I said to the guys in the locker room, like every game is just so difficult. Like it doesn't matter who you're playing, where they sit in the standings. I mean, it's really inspiring to see, to be honest. I mean, it's quite easy to sit there and really struggle and not bring it, but I got to take my hat off to the last two games we've played. I mean, they've just played so hard and really played really good basketball, and we've had to really fight to the very end in both, and especially the last two. But credit to our guys. I mean, they just keep battling and finding solutions, and they were pretty disruptive there defensively. It got a little bit, chunky there that second half with a lot of fouls, but they stepped to the line, made our free throws, which was really important.
For Coach and Deshaun, congrats on the win. UTSA switched back and forth in and out of zone quite a bit in the second half, kind of took away some of that post-entry pass for you, Deshaun. Talk about that and your counter to, I guess, continue scoring there late.
Just going to the high-low action, making sure that, we space the floor, that when we do get in, because they started doubling a lot more in the second half. So when that did happen, we made sure we made the right passes, the right plays, and we put the guys in the right position to make the right plays.
Coach, just talk about a little bit of the emergence of Jackson Threadgill over these last couple of games. Didn't have a great last 5 games leading up to Temple, but he's really come on the last 2 games. And just what does that do for the team as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, he struggled probably mentally more than anything. Just getting into that role that he's been in, but he's been putting in a lot of really hard work off the court, and that obviously you don't see, but he's really been sharp at practice and really working hard, and just got to find a way, man. You got to battle through the ebbs and flows of a season, and it's always like that. It's that for everybody, and it's just his patch at that point. And now he's starting to come out the other end and showing his experience as an older guy in the program, and there's no secret sauce to it. You just got to work and work hard to get back in and perform for the team. And I thought his defense tonight was sensational. I mean, he locked off so many guys trying to get to where they wanted to go and put them in some really tough spots to get some clean shots off. I mean, that was a big part of us getting across the line there in that game. And, we defended pretty well. I mean, they didn't shoot great, and we did okay. But, again, it was the second time we've played that team. We can't keep them off the glass. And it just gives them so many extra possessions to be able to make things happen and get to the free throw line. And that's probably the most disappointing thing for me, is that we did defend very well and just couldn't finish possessions off, and just then couldn't build enough pressure to be able to come down the other end and try and chip away at the lead. But found a way, and we've got to quickly turn around and get ready for Sunday. Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, it's kind of territory that probably a number of them haven't been in before, and all I can do is try and educate them on it. But at the end of the day, you've got to be able to go through that experience together and share it together and learn from it and reflect back on it. A few games ago, we played against the number 1 team at their place, and that was really, really difficult. And now we've turned around and played the other end of the standings, and man, it's just as difficult. Like, that's what they got to understand, because we obviously got that game I'm talking about. USF's obviously best shot, and we've got the same the last couple of games, and like that's just the way it is. Like, got to understand that, and you've got to be very intentful every day, preparing to play, and not just think that you can cruise through a practice and then think you're just going to crank it up on game night, because you're going to get that type of effort from who you're playing. So we'll get exactly the same thing on Sunday, and we're going to have to be really good to get across the line.
Coach, you kind of touched on it in your opening statement, but there was a period in the second half, a long stretch where you just weren't hitting shots, but your guys still found a way. As a how rewarding is that to see that type of whatever it takes mentality out of your guys?
Yeah, you got to try and find solutions just as they're. I mean, it's obviously a game of chess. I mean, coach has been around for a long, long time. He's played at the highest level and been a sensational player in himself, and he's had a lot of success and he's very good at that in-game strategy, and you got to counter what he's doing, and he's trying to do the same with us, and just trying to. I mean, I've been doing this so long. Like when you're just so new together and you see things for the first time, it's difficult. Like teams that have been together for a long time, they just get together and huddle, go, hey, they're doing this, let's go do that. But we're trying to do that on the run. So it gets a little clunky that way, but you're really proud of the guys to be able to just communicate and execute. And we prepared for what we're doing. It's just under that real intensity and pressure, you got to have some pretty good poise, and at times we were pretty good and times we weren't. But we'll go back and reflect and learn that tomorrow, and then quickly put this to bed and then get ready for Sunday.
A very physical first half. It seemed like every time the ball was in your hands, you were either getting to the free throw line or scoring. Can you maybe explain what the process has been like for you developing that physicality as a whole team?
I think that's just the way I play basketball. Like where I'm from, that's how we kind of get after each other every day. Like I used to play AAU games at 8 in the morning, and we're fouling hard. We're like going at each other really hard. So I think that's just the way I was raised to play basketball, and just going at guys no matter who you are, no matter what your name is. I'm just going to go at you, and if you can stop me, great, but it's probably not going to happen.
For Coach Fern, I want to ask, 21, PJ Carter for them, comes out first half, 19 points, his career high. You hold him to 22, obviously slowed him down in the second. What was the adjustment there to keep him from lighting it up from beyond the arc?
Yeah, well, we have a saying that you got to step to it, and so we had to really get after him. He got hot, and he used to play for Coach Smith at Campbell. So I'm not sure Coach Smith gave us good intel on him. No, he did, but he just got going, man. Like it was like whew. He was hot. He was banging everything. So but we got into him a little bit more in the second half and made it really difficult for him and to get some clean looks, which we did for a lot of guys. Like it was a lot more difficult for them to get cleaner looks in that second half, which was great for the guys to be able to do that. I mean, I keep trying to pushing that button to be physical, and that body-to-body combat is what I call it defensively, and not hands to body. It's body-to-body stuff, and being able to really move your feet. But probably the area that, like I said earlier, the body-to-body hit on the block out was definitely not there tonight. So the bump bags may have to come out and start smashing each other around. But look, if you want to do something at the back end of seasons, you got to be really physical and defend, and because just running up and down scoring, that ain't going to win you many games. It really matters.
And Deshaun, looking to Sunday, this will be your earliest tip of the season. You've had a couple 1 and 2 o'clock tips, but what does that change routine-wise? Obviously, going from playing at night to right there at noon.
I think it's just being locked in, just, keeping the same routine, of course, but getting to the facility a bit earlier, getting treatment, just making sure I'm locked in. Like I'm starting to focus on that game right now. Like that starts right now. This game's over, so really just worried about what's coming next.
Obviously, Deshaun, you're having a big impact this year. Is this what you envisioned when you came to Charlotte, that you would be a kind of a major piece of this team? And same question for you, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I came here just looking for a chance because, like, I felt like, just at where I was at, I really didn't have a chance to show, like, what I could really do. And now Coach Fern has given me that opportunity, and I think, we're all reaping the benefits of that decision. So, yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt he's super talented. And he's had to put a heck of a lot of work to get to this point so far, and he's still got a lot of work to go to get to where he wants to go. But he's had to really change his body and get in shape. had to kick his ass a bit to get him really working, because it's hard when you're a big guy, and I've coached some really talented bigs before, and the same thing. Like, it's just more difficult when you're carrying around that size and understanding how hard you got to really work, and it's difficult, and it's stuff you don't want to do, and that's what coaches and what Pat does an unbelievable job in the weight room, and getting these guys in great shape and looking after them and feeding them correctly and hydration and massage and all that type of thing, and then just getting out in the court there and go, no, every day you've got to be better. And like we say, we want more, and I want more from him, and I want more from every other person in our program. I want more from myself. These guys have got to want more from me, because we're all in this together. It's just not me driving this bus. Like, we're all doing this, and but his growth has been inspiring. I'm really proud of him. I know how difficult it's been for him the last 24 months, and he's having fun, man. Like, that's what it's about. You know, he's back out there enjoying what he loves to do, and probably understanding that if you work really hard, some really good things can happen. Because if you don't, nothing's going to happen. So, you know, that's our job, is to keep pushing them to places mentally, emotionally, physically that they don't want to get to. And I think that's what my job is to do. I think is to push them across that line and go, no, you can run a little bit harder. No, you can be a little tougher here mentally. No, you can be tougher a little bit more emotionally, because I'm going to push buttons and get you ticked off at me, and I don't really care. Deal with it, because that's what you're going to have to deal out there in big moments. And we've done pretty well in those situations at times, and we haven't. And we talk about it, and we talk about it as a team, and guys get caught out in front of the team and go, that's not good enough. That is good enough. That's how we got to do it. So it's been no different for him. He's had his days like that. But that's what it should be, and that's how you grow.
Deshaun, is going off that, is this the most fun you've had playing basketball?
In a while, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Like, just being able to go out there and play and get the ball and, you know, be a part of the offense and not just sit on the block all day. Like, it's really fun playing it with my teammates, like Lakai, putting me in great positions. Having Igor on the perimeter, like, if I get double, I can just throw it right to him. He's gonna make the shot. So it's really fun out there.
And speaking of Lakai, he told us on a podcast that I do that he had the best hair on the team. I'm just curious if you care to comment on that.
Right now, my hair's looking a little messy, man. I got to go get it done. But if I get it done, he likes to. He's a light-skinned guy, man. That's how they do. That's how those guys do.
I mean, one thing I'll just add to what DJ was talking about, like, as a big guy to come to this program and play the position that you play in the offense that we run is very different to a typical big, and something that he was not very good at the start of the year. But in conference play, I think he's got, if I'm not wrong, I think he's got like 17 assists and 6 turnovers, something like that. I guarantee he's never done that in his life, all right? And so learning to be more comfortable on the perimeter will be hugely beneficial to his career down the track, instead of just, like he said, just running to the block and just standing there and being a pick and roll guy and roll every time. Like, you don't do that in this program. You have to pick and roll. You have to pick and pop. You have to be able to catch at the elbow. You've got to make a lot of passing decisions. As a big, it's a great program to play in, because you get to touch the ball a lot. And you got a lot of responsibility in that position, and the growth for him to be part of this program, and that will be tremendous for him down the track.
And if there are no more questions, that concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you all for coming out, and Charlotte is back in action Sunday at noon. Thank you.